At the end of 2020, Roman Reigns successfully defended his title 2 times against Kevin Owens. Both of these victories were, in part, due to interference of Roman's cousin, Jey Uso. The build to the blow-off between the two had all sorts of twists and turns, with Adam Pearce winning a gauntlet match and to be the #1 contender, but he opted out due to quote-unquote injury. After the contract was signed for a last man standing match and Kevin Owens was named his suitable replacement for the show, we are all set for Reigns Owens 3. Who will be the last man standing? And who will go on to face Roman at WrestleMania 37? It's time to rewind the Bloodline. Before we get into the show, make sure that you acknowledge us. Make sure you drop a subscribe and like the video and leave a comment. Let us know what you think of Royal Rumble 2021. So let's get right to it, Goose. I am so excited. Kick us off for this Rumble show.
The show here starts with the Batman spotlight. I don't know if this is an homage to Adam Pearce or not, but there's this weird Gotham setting with rain pouring down, and we see Shawn throwing out Davey Boy, Austin throwing out Brett, Rock and the Big Show going out together, Triple H winning, Cena winning, Becky Lynch, and then we get, it all comes down to the Royal Rumble.
30 men will enter.
30 will compete.
With the ultimate prize at stake.
The opportunity at WrestleMania. Tonight is about
who answered the call.
We cut to KO saying that he will give everything to get back to the top. And we cut to Roman saying, this is my yard, my island, my WWE. And then we see Drew and Goldberg. And we are told right here, right now, there is no second chances. What began as a whisper has become
a rumble.
Oh, and that's a Mong Goosebumps moment right there, man. Like, that really did get me fired up to start this show.
Yeah.
So now, Cricket presents the WWE Royal Rumble. Pyro's blasting like crazy in the Thunderdome, and Tom Phillips is amazingly once again the first voice that we hear, and we are at the 34th annual Royal Rumble show.
And what kicks off this show is Jim Shorts Goldberg. I was not expecting them to kick off the show, but we're going to give a quick match review because that's exactly what it was, a quick match. We got 4 spears, 2 claymores, a jackhammer, 3 kick out, and Drew won with the claymore in about 6 minutes.
Get in, get out. That is what Dave Meltzer would call a Paul Heyman match. Big move, kick out, go home. Loved it. You know what? For where Goldberg was at this point in time, I didn't hate it. Not a problem with it.
And he may or may not be Roman's opponent at WrestleMania 37, which is on the table.
We shall see. So our second match is Sasha and Carmella. So I'm thinking at this time, are we running back-to-back Rumbles? Like we have 2 matches first. So Sasha wins with the bank statement, and we get a plug for WWE icons Yokozuna. We then get Bad Bunny singing the song Booker T, with Booker T just standing there as G.I. Bro, not even moving. Dude, he's barely blinking. It was like they got wax Booker T to play real Booker T. It was incredible, man.
And 45 minutes into the show, we get our first by the numbers video, and it's really well done. 1,130 entrants, only 30 have won. This resulted in 18 world championships won at WrestleMania, including the last 4 Rumble winners. And we are informed that Daniel Bryan was in for over 1 hour and 16 minutes, but that was in the Saudi Arabia show, The Greatest Royal Rumble. And he is looking to build on that and to actually win.
Yep, and after that video closes out, because they did run the men and women together in that video, our women's match is first. Some highlights here. R-Truth lost his 24/7 title to Alicia Fox and then won it back from her in that same match. A blonde, way less tattooed Rhea Ripley was here. Mandy Rose is teaming with Dana Brooks is in it. Mickie James is in it. The Southern Belle Lacey Evans is in it. We're reminded that she's currently in a relationship with Ric Flair. and helped cost Charlotte Flair the tag titles before on the pre-show. Naomi gets kicked out in this match, literally kicked out, back flat on the ground, but because her feet never touch the floor, she somehow jiggles and wriggles and gets herself back into the ring, and they just let that happen. So that was annoying. My favorite spot of this match, though, Alexa Bliss comes down. She's Spooky Alexa. She's getting beat on by like 18 people. The Spooky Fiend dun kicks on. Everybody backs off. Rhea Ripley just picks her up and throws her right out like a bag of trash. I absolutely loved it.
So Natty was the 30th entrant. The final 5 were Natty, Charlotte, Bianca, Rhea, and Lana. What are we doing? So Bianca eliminated Rhea after a really solid 5-ish minute mini match, and Bianca punched her ticket to WrestleMania. And after the Women's Royal Rumble, it is time for our last man standing match for the Universal Championship.
So no pinfalls, no submissions. The only way to win is to incapacitate your opponent so they cannot reach their feet by the count of 10. Very weird that we cut from the Rumble match right to this. Like, I'm thinking, is there no video? Fortunately for all listeners and watchers, we covered everything in the last 2 weeks, so go and check those things out to see how we got here. So KO's out first, followed by the man who thinks he runs it all, a very pompous, arrogant, yet successful WWE Universal Champion.
Roman comes out. He is flanked by Paul. Cole reminds us that Roman's Anoa'i family lineage and plugs the Yokozuna Icon show. And Yoko paved the way, and Roman just took it to the next level. If you're a recurring listener here of the Bloodline Rewind, you know we love the Gold Gauntlet Roman. So he is donning the Gold Gauntlet tonight. And Cole tells us that each man does what they do for their family, but in different ways. And I really like that little layer because KO has used it before as his motivation, and this is just a really nice job to call back to that.
Yeah, Cole tells us that for the 21st time in WWE history, the championship will be defended in a last man standing match. Also, they say about The Miz cashing in, and I didn't think about this last week, but I did when he mentioned it here. Didn't he already cash in at Survivor Series? Didn't that ladder match turn into a triple threat?
It did. Yeah, he cashed it in.
Apparently not. And we haven't been watching Raw, so I'm sure that there was some court battle or whatever with JBL that gave him the thing back. So the bell rings and both men start just throwing haymakers. And I love this because this is supposed to be a fight, and it's a fight.
Yes, I love the way that they started that match. Roman, he misses a Superman punch. KO misses a stunner. Then Roman hits a Superman punch, and KO stays down for a count of 4. So Roman goes for the spear. KO cuts him off with a knee. He hits a pop-up powerbomb, and then Roman stayed down for 4.
And so we're trading finishers right off the bat. I like that. So Roman rolls out. KO follows. He goes to run. Roman tries to get KO into a fireman's carry. KO slides out, posts Roman, and Roman throws KO into the steps. Roman then comes back, and as Cole says, and I love this, flatlined and steamrolled Owens with a spear because he just squished him like a bug. So KO's selling big here, and he gets up at 7 with the help of the barricade.
Roman then grabs the steps, and man, he loves the ring steps here in this era. He bashes KO in the shoulder and the side of the head. He then hits him 2 more times, and KO is down. There's a little kid. He looks so sad right behind KO. It was great.
Looking right down at him. It was perfect. It was like the kid was legit in the stands.
So KO gets up after a count of 5, and this is officially calamity quarter for these two.
Yeah, everything goes wrong right there.
Yes.
Over and over again. KO hits a super kick while Roman has the steps above his head. I like that spot. Roman then stays down. KO grabs Roman at 5 and starts bashing his head into the steps. And Cole was good here because he mentions he knows that Roman's not staying down for 10. So let's get him there. Let's incapacitate him while he's, still wobbly. We then get thrown into the video board. And I love that there's a little boy here in a belt that he's just kicking his little feet watching all the carnage.
So KO grabs the steps. He bashes Roman with them. Roman is on the table, and KO is climbing, looking back for the callback to that Roman putting KO through the table. KO grabs a chair, but Roman gets up. He cuts off Owens, and now both men are on the platform with Roman working over Owens with a chair.
So KO starts a comeback, but Roman throws KO into the video board. KO tries again. He's throwing rights. Roman cuts him off and then throws KO up to the next level of video boards. Roman is climbing over the boards, and as he's doing so, KO nails him with the super kick. Roman is down. He gets up at 5, and now KO's working Roman over big time with the chair, and KO's just starts busting Roman in the legs, and all I could think of here was, you can get a new couch.
What am I gonna do about my legs, Eddie Murphy?
So Roman starts to fire back up here. He's selling one leg as he kicks with the other. The ref at this point, I feel, is just like perpetually counting between 1 and 5 over and over and over again here. So Roman says, "Let's go on a run." But KO cuts him off with a kick to the gut, and he hits a stunner. Roman has his heels off of the edge. He does the little wobble, but he fires up. He hits KO with a Superman punch, and then Roman grabs KO. The ref screams,
No, Roman, no!
and that just made me think of Mr. Deeds.
No, Daddy, no!
And Roman just chucks KO off of the 3rd level through a table again.
No!
Yep, ref is counting again, gets to 9. KO pulls himself up. Roman now has the shocked face. KO's struggling, walks to the back. He's on a wooden pallet and now is wading through the back, just going through production things. He somehow wades through and gets to a warm-up ring.
Yeah.
And dude, this facility's awesome.
Yeah,
like, this is like wrestler heaven.
And so the ref says, "You need to protect yourself or the match is over." Just as he says this, Roman completely obliterates KO with a golf cart.
Oh, my God, are you kidding me?
What? Where did he come from?
It was like a video game hit, dude. It was incredible.
I loved it. I wanted more of it. More golf cart.
And the plexiglass, like the hit, it sounded so violent, like it was out of nowhere. This was great. It probably hurt like all heck, but it was great.
So KO gets up at 9. He hits Roman with a takeout food box. This just doesn't seem fair at all. KO has to take a bump off of the platform. He gets obliterated by a golf cart, and then Roman just gets hit with a styrofoam takeout box.
It's good to be the king.
I guess so.
So KO's down again. The ref counts to 8. Roman's now mouth is busted open. He's telling Kevin Owens that he tried to smarten him up, and he calls out Kevin Owens' grandparents, and KO goes off. He just starts unloading on Roman here. He's screaming profanities, and I could only think that this is like when Ralphie snapped like and went totally psycho in A Christmas Story. You rack 'em, frack 'em, shrack 'em. Like, that was literally what I thought about here. And Kevin Owens is screaming, "My grandfathers were more of a man than you'll ever be." Like, this was really good fire up.
So he gives Roman a pop-up powerbomb onto the table. He then climbs up onto the top of some speakers, and he splashes Roman through a table. The ref is now counting. Both men are down. KO gets up at 6, and Roman is still down at 8 and 9, and Roman just barely gets back up. Roman is on spaghetti legs. He falls to KO's feet, throws Roman into a ladder, and Cole is putting over that Roman is really hurt here.
And the ref is now counting again. He gets to 9 again. Roman uses this like spray paint table to get up. KO hits him with a short ladder. Roman's now laying on this painting table, and KO starts up a forklift, and he's now raising the lift up, and there's a pallet on it that has a jump pad, and I laughed out loud at that.
I popped huge for the jump pad. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, you got to, I guess.
Right.
So Owens climbs up. It's about 20 feet off of the forklift, and he gives Roman a swanton through the table.
Oh, my God, a swanton!
So KO gets to his feet. Roman gets to his feet at 9 again, but he falls back down, and they show like 4 replays of that swanton bomb, and for good reason, because it was awesome.
Yeah, when you get a high spot that crisp, looks that good, you got to show it over and over again. Great, good job on you, production. So KO grabs Roman, and he now has like blood all over his face. It looks like blood, might be paint, God only knows. But KO screams,
Whose blood is that on your face, huh?
"It's not mine."
Yeah, that's tribal blood.
Love that line. Yeah. So KO now leads Roman through the back, and they make their way back to the main stage.
Roman is a beaten, bloody mess. The ref is at 9. Roman stands up again. KO pulls Roman in for a short arm clothesline, and Roman fires up with a Superman punch, and then he spears KO through the screens.
And now Reigns with a spear through the screens.
KO is now down. The ref is counting again. These three, ref included, they are working so hard here. This was so good.
Yeah, and that dude, that ref, his poor voice box, man. 1, 2, like just over and over and over again, following his carnage around.
So the ref gets to 9, and KO rolls off the stage, and he gets to his feet to break the count.
KO's wandering around. He burns his arm on a stage light. And he literally says, like, I burned my arm, like right there. So Roman's now stalking KO, and he's holding handcuffs. Roman says, I can't quit. There's no way I can go home if I quit. And he starts wailing on KO with the handcuffs. Roman's screaming,
You're gonna have to bet on me.
Roman's now trying to cuff KO, but KO cuts him off, hits him with a kick and another stunner. The ref starts to count, but then KO gets Roman into the mount, and now it's KO beating on Roman with the handcuffs in hand.
KO now cuffs Roman to the light fixture, and now it's Roman's turn. Roman is cuffed, and he can't get up. The ref is at 7, 8, 9, and Roman, just with everything that he has left in him, he grabs the ref by the belt and he pulls him into the light fixture. Then Roman pulls in KO and he low blows him. This was really creative and really clever. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely. The bump the ref took was great. And again, you're thinking here that it's curtains. And when he pulled that ref in, dude, I literally went, oh, like it got me. I thought that was, for as far as the near fall could be in a last man standing match, that was as good as you can get. Things will start to turn here though. So Roman's down. Paul slides in with the key. There's a new ref in, possibly John from ringside. All right. He gets to 5. And then once he gets to 5, he can see that there's no chance that Roman's getting out of these cuffs. And he just stops counting. And now my eyes are red with rage and there is steam coming out of the top of my head. Roman is just sitting there for what feels like minutes, and they just quit showing the ref on screen because he completely stopped counting, and they're just thinking like abort mission. They had to be.
Yeah, the ref literally Homer Simpsoned his way out. He literally fell right back into the bushes. He was no longer there to be seen. Roman finally gets to his feet after the ref could have counted to at least 40 here. All gets the handcuffs unhooked in what felt like hours. And like while he was trying to do that, KO then just walks right into a guillotine. KO is out. Both men are down. And now the ref wants to come in and count. So Roman ends up winning here. He retains in what I thought was a really fun match until we got to the handcuffs. It just felt so anticlimactic.
That's the perfect word for it. And literally, once this was over, and I texted you right away, I said, that was it?
Yeah.
Like, dude, that was it?
I knew you were going to be so mad when you saw that because I remember when this happened, and I remember there was so much backlash online because it's not like that it wasn't a bad spot. It just, I don't know why they thought using like real handcuffs was a good idea.
Yeah, dude, my kid got these like rubber ones that stretch. That would have been a better idea than to use anything close to real handcuffs if you needed him to get out in a time-sensitive spot. So this one, it broke my heart, dude. And because of this finish, this unforgivable finish, I'm giving this 3.75, 3.75 stars. What you rated, John?
This match was on pace, I would say, to be better than the Survivor Series match against Drew. It would have been easily a 4.75 star match, and it instantly dropped to a 3.5 for me. Handcuffs just absolutely ruined it. It felt so awkward. You were sitting there waiting forever, and man, it just, it drove me nuts.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And at the end of it, what it comes down to is wrestling, especially big major main events, are supposed to crescendo and build to this big finish. And either you love it or you hate it for the way that it goes. In a good way, this was not a good way. This was a disaster. Yeah. So I went to the Observer for this, and Meltzer called it, quote, excellent most of the way. The handcuff spot, he counted 24 seconds that the ref in live time before the ref got to 9 before Roman threw him into the light. Okay. So 24 seconds. Oh yeah. With the stopwatch, you know it, dude. So 24 seconds before the ref gets thrown into the light, Roman was down for a minute 24 seconds before Paul Heyman came out. And at 2 minutes and 18 seconds, Roman got out and put KO in the guillotine. Dave still gave it 4 stars after Roman was down for 2 minutes and 18 seconds in a count to 10 match.
Oh my word. So I can't believe that Dave gave that, but since we're here at the Rumble and there are implications to Roman's Universal Championship, we're going to run over the Men's Royal Rumble real quickly. So we have Randy and Edge. They were out first. Mustafa Ali comes out as the leader of Retribution. I totally forgot about them.
It's 2021, man. It's a different world.
So Carlito, he was the big first surprise in this Rumble, and he came out at 8.
Bad Bunny was in this match. A freshly debuting Damian Priest was in. Go back to our show last week for Damian Priest Nugget. Daniel Bryan comes out at 17, and Kane comes out at 18. Mayor Kane. And speaking of Kane, a hurricane also came through this match. We got us some Shane Helms.
Love you, Shane. Big shout out to the Hurricane. Seth made his return at number 29, and we have not seen him since Survivor Series when he got taken out by Sheamus. And unfortunately, at number 30 was Braun Strowman. Oh my gosh. So
little anticlimactic there too.
Yeah. So our final 6 in the Rumble was Edge, Christian, Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, AJ Styles, and Seth Rollins.
Rollins eliminated Bryan and Matt Riddle. The final 4 then is Rollins, Edge, Christian, and Braun Strowman. Seth tries to get Braun to team up with him to take out Edge and Christian. Edge and Braun later on are then tied up. Christian tries to throw out Strowman. Rollins runs in behind him and tosses out Christian while Edge pulls out Braun. Rollins then goes for a stomp on Edge. Edge catches Rollins, dumps him over top, and now Edge has gone the distance from 1 to the last man standing, and he is your 2021 Men's Royal Rumble winner.
Or so we thought. Somehow, Randy Orton comes out of nowhere. He hits an RKO and is somehow never eliminated, but Edge throws him out anyway, and he wins. And I totally forgot Orton was even in this match. And I can't believe that that's how they ended that Rumble.
No, again, dude, one of these things that it's not like we didn't see it then.
Right.
And they got me twice. They would have got me then, and they got me this time. And thankfully, it wasn't the old okey doke where he the Vince and wins at the end. So Edge is your winner here. So we are officially on the road to WrestleMania, dude.
And the whole time, I'm just waiting for Jey Uso. And I didn't forget him about cutting that promo about he was going to go win this thing and take the Raw title 2 episodes ago here on the Bloodline Rewind. So if you do not know why Jey wasn't there, he had COVID. So that is why he wasn't there to come and help Roman whenever he was getting put through the table by Kevin Owens on the last episode. And he never showed up at the Rumble at all. So he had COVID and he was not allowed to be at the show.
This week's Observer, all I saw was just running down was just that Jey was not medically cleared. So all checks out. So the crazy fun fact here, at the time, this was the oldest Royal Rumble in the history of the company. Otis and Dominic Mysterio were the only 2 people under 30 years old in this entire match. Thought that was really crazy.
That is really crazy.
So, brother, take us home, man. What do you got on your Island of Relevancy this week?
This week for the Island of Relevancy, I am going to put on Tropicana Field. These guys fought all over this building, and it was awesome to see the backstage area. We not only got a golf cart spot, we got a forklift spot. I loved it, just minus the finish, but it's serving the Thunderdome and all of these PLEs very well.
Yeah, co-sign on that one.
So that's what I'm putting on the Island of Relevancy this week. What are you tossing into the ocean of obscurity?
This was an easy one, man. This wasn't a layup. This was a slam dunk. The referee that just stopped counting. I am throwing him into the ocean while he's wearing the ungimmicked cuffs. This poor guy. I hate to do it to him, man, but oh, was I hot.
Yeah.
Like you said, dude, great match, but just totally crushed the finish.
That was part 16 of the Bloodline Rewind. We will be back next week with the fallout of the Royal Rumble and everything that is going on as we are officially on the road to WrestleMania 37. So be sure to subscribe if you have not. Make sure you drop a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of this Universal Championship match. What did you think of the finish of the Men's Rumble or just in the Rumble in general? Let us know what you thought. With that, I'm Johnny Bake Show.
I'm Teddy Mongoose.
And we just called it in the ring.